And they have just a few hundred meters remaining now, but it is steeply uphill. Damiano Cunego leading Stefano Perazzi, and Perazzi has Ciccone right on his wheel. Cunego, 21 points in the standings right now. Perazzi has 6 that he takes into this climb, and Giulio Ciccone just 2. So Cunego, the best placed on the King of the Mountains, going into this final, well, penultimate point where there are King of the Mountains points available today. The first Cat 1 climb, 35 points for the winner. And if it is going to be Damiano Cunego, then he will take a huge stride towards the King of the Mountains overall win on this Giro d'Italia. Cunego, where he opens up a little acceleration, and Perazzi is struggling to just stay on his wheel. Cunego goes again, 100 meters to go for Cunego. Now he opens up a gap, and Ciccone goes over the top of his leader, who's unable to hold his wheel, and it's a battle between the young Italian and the veteran Damiano Cunego. But Cunego is going to take 35 points and go back into the blue King of the Mountains jersey at the end of the day. Great ride from Ciccone, though. He looks across to see where Perazzi is, and Perazzi was gapped. That's the order across the line then. Cunego, Ciccone and Perazzi in third place. Meanwhile, on the lower slopes, let's get an accurate reading of where those 3 are and the rest of the breakaway relative to the tiny group of GC favourites, minus the pink jersey, minus Mikel Landa. Right at the front of this race now, as Perazzi and Cunego just have words with each other.
Well, that's interesting. I mean, I don't think it was deliberate, but Perazzi effectively tried to come up the inside of Cunego, but got the corner all wrong. They kind of collided, and that's allowed this man to get a bit of a gap. And now Perazzi saying, well, I'm not going to work, but a rider up the road.
There he is, Giulio Ciccone. He's got quite an attitude, Ciccone. We know that because of his interesting exchange of views the other day, that when he was contesting mountains points with the young Colombian Daniel Martinez. And Martinez was pointing a finger at him as if to say, enough of your attitude, young man. I've just proved my point by out-sprinting you at the King of the Mountains. But Ciccone's a real talent as we look at the group of favourites now beginning to descend. They're all there, aren't they, pretty much? Andre Amador and Alejandro Valverde, the 2 men from Movistar. And Diego Ulissi with the number 100 on his back. But this is your race leader at the moment, Ciccone, Giulio Ciccone from Bardiani CSF.
Well, we understand actually that the pink jersey Brambilla is not too far behind this group. We saw the other day from his stage victory into Arezzo how good he is on the descent. That was instrumental in keeping a hold of the stage win, but more so even in terms of getting that pink jersey. So it might well be, look, you can see there, confirmation, just 10 seconds remain between the Vincenzo Nibali and Valverde group, 2 pink jersey behind. How far this man Amador is in front of that group, we do not know, but all sorts of things happening on this stage. Stage win up for grabs, Ciccone leading the race on the road. You reckon he only got about 15 seconds over a group containing Damiano Cunego, who will be in the King of the Mountains jersey at the end of the day. Then we've got a few more of the breakaway riders behind that. Then the pink jersey group, as we can call it now. He's done a tremendous descent to get back into this group. What a ride.
Brambilla, not content with making contact, is moving right back up to the front of that group of favourites now. On the wheel of Pozzovivo, no threat, of course, Ciccone, just to stress that in the overall classification. And now the pace is being set at the front of the group of favourites by the pink jersey himself. Gianluca Brambilla has gone to the front.
Well, that's an interesting one, isn't it? He obviously wasn't quite as strong as Bob Jungels on that previous climb. You have to say that this one in particular suits the Luxembourg champion, who's in the white jersey. So it might well be that Brambilla has said, look, it's not my day today, I'm not feeling as strong, and I'm going to try and make sure that we keep this pink jersey within the team, because the problem that they've got now is that Amador is now up the road, and he started just 32 seconds behind Brambilla and just 31 seconds behind the white jersey of Bob Jungels. So now we can see quite a unique situation. Absolutely fantastic to see Brambilla doing work on the front. I mean, he could just say, I'm going to sit in and try and keep the pink jersey myself, but he's putting it all on the line now for his Luxembourg teammate.
Well, if this were the Tour de France, you'd say chapeau, wouldn't you? What a great gesture that is now to see the Maglia Rosa setting the pace for the white jersey of his teammate. A rare sight indeed on a Grand Tour. Well, Brambilla and Jungels are trying hard to hold on to the pink jersey for Etixx Quick-Step now. It will almost certainly, if that's the case, change hands between Jungels and Brambilla, although you never say never with Gianluca Brambilla. I've learnt my lesson after the individual time trial, but this is fascinatingly poised. Meanwhile, that is the group of Giovanni Visconti, Nate Brown and Darwin Atapuma. That's the third group on the road. Damiano Cunego no longer a part of that group, I notice. 4.1k to go for Giulio Ciccone, who's got a real chance here, I think, now. If he can just hold this kind of advantage for the next couple of kilometres and then give it everything in the final K, this man might well be riding himself to a stage win. Rovni, the second rider on the road, though, as we speak. Not getting time gaps, though. It's hard to know exactly how far ahead Ciccone is to Rovni. Ciccone is actually pulling out time on Rovni and riding himself now, I'm pretty confidently, I think we can say, into the position where he can think about and dream about a stage win. This is a private battle between Andre Amador and the pink jersey of Gianluca Brambilla on the left and the right of your screen. And last time we got an accurate measurement, we could tell you that Amador had something like a 7 or 8 second advantage in the pink jersey as things stood on the road. Ciccone then has a 33-second advantage over Rovni. Chasing group, let's look at that. Amador then, 2 minutes 10, and the chasing group 3:03. So that's a really substantial advantage that Amador has over that pink jersey group. And if that is true, then Amador will ride himself into the pink jersey with something to spare at the end of the day. Yeah,
lots going on in today's stage, isn't there? 2.3 Ks to go then. One thing that we're almost certain of today is that Ciccone is going to take an amazing stage victory for Bardiani and for himself. Very, very young rider, extremely promising, and he'll no doubt have lots of plaudits here in Italy at the end of the day stage if he does manage to hold on. But the interesting one behind is the pink jersey fight. Interesting, in fact, that Astana haven't put anybody on the front. Of course, this man has got a pedigree in Grand Tours now, having finished 4th overall last year. Astana being reasonably relaxed and letting Etixx Quick-Step do the work for the moment. They've still got 3 rides in that chase group behind. 2 minutes 16 the gap between the front man, Ciccone, and this one, but it's the one behind that we're interested in seeing.
And it's all down to Gianluca Brambilla. Nobody helping him, which is slightly surprising. I wonder whether Jungels can't contribute to that chase at all. As you can see, Giovanni Visconti has just dropped off the group with Cunego there, and he keeps looking over his right shoulder now, because Visconti is slowing up to see what he can do for Andre Amador. His ear and the radio, his earpiece will be absolutely full as Gianluca Brambilla gives up. He's done his domestique job today in the Maglia Rosa, and he hands over to Jungels. Now it's all over to you, Bob Jungels. What can you do to peg back Andre Amador?
This is a story of who we are.
And where we're from.
A journey across the world.
Following our genetic footprints.
The story of humankind.
It's about how we're...
It ain't going to happen for Ivan Rovni, because this man is going to ride to victory. Just 350 metres separate Giulio Ciccone from the biggest win of his young career. His team staff are leaning out of the windows of the team car and screaming at him. This is a huge result, not just for the team, but for this man, Giulio Ciccone. Punches the air, he knows he's done it, he can relax a little. They can all celebrate this moment. What does the future hold for Giulio Ciccone? Well, who cares about the future, because right now, the present is enough. A stage win on the Giro d'Italia for Giulio Ciccone. Taking a win in Sestola and celebrating it like the champion he might well become. Almost overwhelmed with emotion, on the line, a double punch, a bowing of the head. Victory for Ciccone. Well, Rovni is in second place at the moment, and he knows that he will That's a good little notch in his palmares, but it's not victory. He had a chance, but in the end, he couldn't do anything to get across to Giulio Ciccone. Ciccone. Well, it's a good ride from Rovny, but you have to hand it to Giulio Ciccone. He was just too strong for the Russian from Tinkoff on the day. So Rovny over in second place. He will take a time bonus of 6 seconds there that is scarcely relevant. He was just looking for the stage win today. But who is going to be the third rider over the line? Giulio Ciccone now knows that he has that in the bag, and Giovanni Visconti has joined Andre Amador. So Visconti will lead out Amador and try and set as fast a pace as he can for the Costa Rican from Movistar and eke out as much of an advantage as he possibly can. When Amador comes over the line, and it might well be that he is in third place, he's been sweeping past the remains of that breakaway. No, Darwin Atapuma will come over the line in third place. So there will be no time bonuses available for Andre Amador at the line. But when we stop the watch, it'll be absolutely key to see whether or not he has enough of an advantage over Bob Jungels to take over the race lead. I think he probably does, and last time we got a measurement of that, it did suggest that Amador had time in the bag and time in hand over the white jersey of Bob Jungels, for whom the pink jersey has sacrificed himself today. Meanwhile, Nate Brown comes over in a very creditable fourth place on the stage. Well done to him for the young American for Cannondale. Great ride on a Grand Tour. And Damiano Cunego looks as though he will be in fifth place. But the big GC battle is raging behind them. Cunego crosses in fifth place. He'll be the king of the mountains at the end of the day. Giovanni Visconti hands over to Amador. He stops the watch now at 2:10, and there is the gap, and it has come back substantially. So what a job they've done. Alejandro Valverde leading over the big favourites. So where did they come back from? That was extraordinary.
I can tell you, Bob Jungels did a tremendously long turn on the front. It's his big chance of going into the pink jersey, and I think he's done it. He brought that gap down enough that Amador will not be in the pink jersey, but Bob Jungels will be.
That was exceptional. There was almost no gap at the end of that. Last time we had a time check, there was something like 41 seconds of an advantage Amador had over that group. By the time they actually came over the finishing line, it had melted away to next to nothing. Bob Jungels, who missed out by just 1 second in the individual time trial, as Georg Preidler, who looked to try and win today's stage, labours over the line. Bob Jungels will be the next pink jersey. Ciccone wins from Rovny in second place. Andre Amador in sixth at 2:10, and Alejandro Valverde leading home the group of favourites, just 1 second down on Amador after all that.
We had three guys controlling the whole breakaway, and then in the end, again pulling second last climb, and then when Astana went, I was able to stay there, and then yeah, I mean Bromby came back and he's in pink, and then he's pulling for me on the last climb because Amador was. This is unbelievable. I can't believe it. It's really this is definitely one of the best days of my life, I think. We haven't seen this very often in cycling, that leader of a race is pulling for the second one, but I think we're all really honest with each other, and a big group of friends, and I think we really showed that.